Okay, for today's Daily Blast from Santa Anita on October 17th, 2021, I'm just a little bit miffed, but of course no more miffed than usual, or at least no more miffed than I've been since about 2010, 11, 12 years ago, when the shining knights of media, horse racing media, started claiming success through the use of AbilityX ratings. And of course, I mean, it's very flattering. Don't get me wrong. Very flattering. But it's also kind of annoying when these people who really don't have any talent at all that I can see, or that is readily apparent to any observer, they don't seem to have much talent or capability for rating the ability of the thoroughbred horse at all. And as a matter of fact, if anytime I happen to mention that I am the #1 analyst in all of North American horse racing because I do have that capacity and have been publishing that rating for, I guess, going on 14 years now, for their benefit, or apparently benefit that they can take or claim or whatever. And this is how they do it here. Here we see on Twitter, and this is my Twitter homepage, and on Twitter I'm known as Trackside Eye. And of course I catch this tweet from Quigley's Corner on the 9th race from Saturday, I believe it was, the 16th, yeah. And it says, when he was handicapping race 9, he found the first-time starter. #2, Vivacious Vanessa, intriguing. And, of course, I would submit that what he found intriguing about that first-time starter was that after scratches, that is the only single one first-time starter with an AbilityX rating above 200 in the race. And of course, users of AbilityX ratings are well aware that when this particular condition, I'll call it, comes up, this #2 here is about 50% to win. Just on this, just on that rating. That's it, all of it. On that rating, this #2 horse is about 50% to win this race. Okay? And subscribers know that. Users of AbilityX ratings, those people that come upon their AbilityX ratings in a honest way, I'll say, they're well aware of that because they've been using AbilityX ratings for some time, and they've studied them, and they've studied horse racing with AbilityX ratings, and they have learned this. And of course, we're not very far away from noticing at a 15-1 morning line that was set by the handicapper over there at Santa Anita, whoever that is, based on their past performances, he figures, hey, 15-1 morning line for that horse. well. And the odds of this horse during the post-parade and warm-ups, where the users of Ability X ratings also know to observe the horse closely and look for signs of stable effort and top physical condition and stable effort to win the race that is expressed in the horse's attitude, that it actually wants to race today and probably would like to win the race. All of that is available to anybody that wants to look. And apparently, I would think that's what he found intriguing about this horse. And, of course, the bet down. The bet down from a 15-1 morning line, which normally under normal circumstances may float up to over 20-1, that gets bet down to 7-2. Okay, so Quigley here, he gets all intrigued about that and says, yeah, plus taking action means he's on board. Well, so of course I respond to this, since I'm a nice guy, and I say to Mr. Quigley, as the publisher of Ability X ratings and the #1 analyst in all of North American horse racing, I'm glad that I could help you guys out with that. And by you guys, I mean Clocker Andy here and Joe Bravo. The idea that I might be giving him a hand in gauging the ability of a racehorse, I like that idea. And since it's a high possibility, yeah, he's one of the guys I'm saying that I could help out with that. And lo and behold, that was the last race Saturday. And lo and behold, here we go. Here's Quigley back again the very next day. There's only one horse to play in race 3 based on paddock appearances, and it's not the current 2-5 favorite. Now, he's the paddock guy, so apparently he actually noticed that #2, Derecho Dandy, was looking fairly sharp in the paddock. And, of course, no doubt, he was probably looking sharp in the post-parade and the pre-race warm-ups also, where any Ability X ratings user would be sure to be checking that horse out, because, as we see, #2 here is the Ability X ratings, a simple pick for the race, maybe over the top on early speed, but the rating at 103 is right in there on the par, very, very close to the par run for this race. And of course 12-1 morning line, and apparently the Ability X ratings users exercised normal, typical, usual constraint on the betting of this horse, and it went off just right at 14-1. Yeah, 14-1 from a morning line of 12. And of course, Quigley doesn't mention that the Ability X ratings key horse and the 2-5 favorite that he mentioned was the Ability X ratings key horse, and that horse is second, making a $1 exacta for $35.60 at the $1 level, 2 and 3, and the daily double, which the winner of the previous race was also the Ability X Ratings simple pick for the second race. And I believe that one paid like $16.60. And that was a daily double of $210 and at the $2 level. So, but I notice that Mr. Quigley, he still does not throw any credit to the absolute amazing ability rating known as Ability X Ratings. Now, doesn't throw a crumb, not a drop, not nothing, but doesn't mind presenting the whole thing as if he actually recognized the horse's ability to win this race. And there it is again. 5 columns of information. Very simple. Very simple, except the first column is the run of the horse. Tremendous impact on horse racing, although Mr. Quigley, he wants to gather all the credit he possibly can. So I did mention in this tweet that perhaps he might want to think about getting Ability X Ratings for himself, which is available in this latest ebook, Winning a Living, the special edition that includes how to make Ability X Ratings for yourself, by yourself, in the comfort of your own home or wherever you like to hang around for most of your time. And of course, this particular page, the URL of which is located right up here, and you can visit anytime you'd like. I'm sure Mr. Quigley and his compadres will be all over it and have been all over it for the last week. But you might also notice that there's another example of another par, run, and early speed for a particular distance, that being 7/8 of a mile. And, that's on display as available for an example, again, that has held up and been true and reliable, and that you can depend on. Anyone can depend on over the past nigh on to 14 years. But I hope Mr. Quigley can pick up on this, that perhaps he won't be able to rely on getting a copy of Ability X Ratings as he has done in the past, however he's done it. I don't know how he's done it. Maybe he has his brother-in-law subscribe. I don't know. But anyway, by the end of the year, the pipeline will shut down for the daily publication, and I am offering in the meantime the latest ebook and how to make the ratings yourself for yourself for only $240, which is the same price as a yearly subscription for one track. But once you have it, you'll have the capacity and capability of making Ability X Ratings to your heart's content for as many tracks as you would like to. Takes about 15-20 minutes to do a track, and you could do half a dozen of them, 12, 14, 10, whatever you'd like. And then you could be, well, I don't expect you to put it out on Twitter as if you did it all on your own. I expect, like most users of Ability X Ratings, they kind of keep it quiet. because they don't want everybody else using Ability X ratings the way everybody else uses form handicapping and speed ratings, which aren't very effective for anything, much less betting money on a racehorse. So that's that, and I wanted to make that get that information out to everybody. I'm trying to let everybody know, so that's why I told Mr. Quigley I'm glad I could help you out with that too. You should think about setting up to make the ratings yourself for yourself, though. The pipeline will shut down soon. Okay? And there's a link for that page that we were just at. And, I hope Mr. Quigley might think about taking me up on that, because it might, if he doesn't have Ability X ratings, it might adversely impact his ability to recognize the ability of the racehorse. It might. I mean, just all he has to do is think back to what was going on 5, 6, 7 years ago before one of his pals tipped him off and said, hey, you know what? You really ought to use Ability X ratings. Then you can put something out publicly on a $50 horse or $100 horse, which Andy Serling did that. It's been a dozen years since he did that, but he did actually pick on his show and I believe it was $135 winner in a 6.5 furlong race. Of course, he's only done it once, and not just a coincidence, I don't believe anymore. The horse had an excellent Ability X rating for the 6.5 furlong distance. Excellent. So by now, I guess, in 2021, I guess now, I mean, they're so many of them are in on it. And, I mean, I do admit that I spent 7 years of my life teaching Derek Simon how to use Ability X ratings. And after 7 long years, he finally got it to some extent, or at least to enough of an extent that he could quit his media type job for horse racing and be a professional bettor. So I think, hey, yeah, that's nice. That's nice. And here we see that second race where that number 2 simple pick wins and pays $16.60. And the fourth race, I believe, I think the fourth race was, just kind of obvious with the number 2 winning that also at good odds. And the closest to the par for the distance, number 2 there. So that was a 2-2-2. Pick 3. That anybody could bet for 50 cents. And I believe it paid a few $100s for that 50-cent pick 3. Of course, I realize that Ability X ratings will never get any credit for that. And that's why I make these videos, to point these things out to you right up in front of your face so you can see plainly this Ability X ratings simple pick number 6 and this Ability X ratings number 9, the key horse, come in that exacta. That is also known as the simple key exacta. That one pays $13.30 at the $1 level. So, excellent way to learn what does win at horse racing. And what doesn't win so much, or what wins more than usual, or more than normal, or more than average. Like number 4 here in the 9th race. I didn't notice anybody saying, hey, I'm really intrigued by this apparent and obvious ability to run 6 furlongs on the grass. Number 4 and number 7, handicappers don't like them because the early speed is only 90 and 91, which, okay, so their formula doesn't work so much there. But if they understood the ability of these two horses, they might be able to see those two horses coming in first and second in a $184.60 $1 exacta. Could. I mean, when you're using Ability X ratings, you have a tremendous potential to learn as much as you want to learn about betting on horse races. And it seems like after 14 years, that's even getting out there to the media types that work at the track and tell you which horses to bet. Even they're getting it. So, but there you have it, and I thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you'll join me again real soon. And of course, don't forget the pipeline is shutting down for the daily publication of Ability X ratings, but you can get them for yourself and enjoy these types of results on a daily basis and a weekly basis. It just never stops. The winning run is the winning run. So, it just continues and continues. It's like deja vu all over again, which I have said several times. So you might want to take a look at that, because you can't always depend on these media types to fill you in. And actually, they're better known for not filling you in. So, I hope to see you soon for the next Daily Blast with Ability X ratings. Thank you very much.